I'm here today to do my review, finally, of Katie McGarry's Pushing the Limits. Words cannot tell you how much I enjoyed this book. I love Katie McGarry now. I gave this book 5 stars. I would give it 20 stars if I could. It was such a good book. It was such an intense romance that I did not want the book to end, but I wanted to know what happened. So it was like one of those really give and take relationships. It was two characters who should not have been together, but they just fit so perfectly. They were both coming from such diverse and complicated paths. I love books like that. I love books that just are fraught with tension and insanity. I just love it. I just love it. I was so engrossed. I have never read anything by Katie McGarry, um, but I loved it. I love Echo. I think her character was so unique and so different, and her home life was really intriguing too. And it was just I cannot tell you how much I loved it. I think I really liked how Noah really was there for Echo and how they both really came together to solve their problems, but in the end they kind of fell in love. And their problems were solved, but in ways that they never could have predicted. I also liked how the book also did have a lot of mystery in it, especially on Echo's side, like what really happened to her and her mother. Basically the premise is Echo something happened to her with her mother before that landed her in the hospital, and they're not exactly sure. She doesn't remember what happened, but everyone knows what happens. So the whole book on her side is trying to figure out what actually happened and getting her memory back, but not suffering a nervous breakdown when she remembers it, which is what happened previously. And then Noah is this bad boy who's been in foster care because his parents were killed in a fire, and his whole goal is to get his brothers back, and that's his journey. And their journeys come together in a unique fashion. I not only like those characters, but I also like the side characters. I love the father. I loved how he was a really difficult character, I think, for me to like. But at the end I really was feeling for him. So that was really good. I like the character of Ashley. I like the best friends that I saw in the book on Noah's side. But I think it was very realistic when something happens and your best friend goes a little bit off the rails. Do you want to be around her? And I think that that was very realistic. It made me feel like I was back in high school and made me grudge up a lot of feelings. And I like the overprotective elements of the father, and I liked eventually how the book came to an ending that made sense. It wasn't a happy ending. It didn't all end all neat and nice and tied in a bow, but it ended. And I know the reason I wanted to read this quickly was because in December they're coming out what I think it's called Breaking the Rules, and it's a novella, and it follows them further into this, and they go on their road trip, which might be kind of a spoiler, but that's kind of what it is. But yeah, it was a very, very good book. I loved seeing both their vulnerable sides and not just with each other. I loved learning more about their pasts, and I loved ev- eventually going back and seeing exactly what happened to Echo because that was really important to me. I loved all the interactions. I loved everything that happened, and it really was a very gripping book. I felt so connected to these characters. Check out my book like blog below because I'm gonna do a more detailed review about it. I have a lot to say. I tried to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but I want to read everything Katie McGarry writes. So I just picked up Dare You To, so I'll hopefully be reading that soon. But yeah, it was just such a good book. It was a really intense romance. And as I've said previously in many, many videos, contemporary books aren't really my thing. But between Katie McGarry, Rainbow Rowell, and Stephanie Perkins, I think I might find a new genre that I kind of adore. I'm also going to do the book review of Crossing the Line, which is the novella that looks at Lila in this book. So I'll do that in a novella mashup that I'll do in a few weeks or a few days, depending on when I finish them all. But yeah, it was a really good book. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know if you guys liked it below. Tweet me, go on my Goodreads. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. No one I know has read these books, so I would love to hear thoughts. I loved Echo and Noah. I thought that they were really interesting, and I loved how we met Beth, and I love how we met Isaiah. And if rumors are true, they have their own books. I think Dare You To is with Beth. Crash Into You is with Isaiah, if I read the summaries right.